don't you say you love me? Oh, no. Say you really want me. Tell me that you need me. Give me all your reasons for leaving, but don't you say you love me? Oh, come on. Say you really want me. Give me all your reasons for leaving, but don't you say you love me? Oh, come on. Say you really want me. Tell me that you need me. Give me all the reasons for leaving, but don't you say you love me?
Good evening, everybody. It's Sunday, and we made it through another week. It is time for the Illuminerdi World Order Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Jay, and of course, with me, as always, is the man himself, Nate Has Skills, who was on a little vacation last week. Nate, we took on vacation last week.
Yeah, I slipped it past the boss, and I was able to skate out for a little bit. But listen, you and Joe held it down in my absence. I thought you guys did a great job, and I am very happy to be back.
I am happy to have you back. No disrespect to Joe, but we got the thing going. We got our flow going. So shout out to the boss man, and I'm glad to have you back. And back in time for a lot of wrestling that took place over the last week while you were gone. We're going to get into some NXT. We're going to talk about Fastlane. We might slip a little AEW in there. We might not. Talk about potential injuries and just all sorts of shakeups that's been happening in the world of pro wrestling. So if you're in the comment box, make sure you chat with us and let us know what's up. And if you like Nate's rapping skills, and we'll get into that later in the show.
Yes.
So let's get into it. Let's start with NXT. NXT had a big event this week. I know you dug deep into it. I was popping in and out of it, but give us the rundown of what happened on NXT and what they were doing over there on the Black and Gold brand.
I thought NXT had knocked it out of the park. It was in your house. It was the takeover in your house, and it was like a throwback '90s show. They had Todd Pettengill on it. They had the guys doing Ico Pro commercials and shilling for 900 numbers that don't really exist, and it was really, really funny. But the card was and I was even saying this before the pandemic. It's just NXT. They just put together a better show. I don't know why it is. They just do. We're not going to go through the entire card, but Finn Balor versus Damian Priest was really good. Damian Priest kind of seems like a Aleister Black and Shinsuke Nakamura had a kid, and Damian Priest was the outcome. But no, the guy really goes. And Finn, as always, was really good. Keith Lee, love Keith Lee, bask in his glory. Him and Johnny Gargano tore it up for the North American Championship. I want to talk to you a little bit. Jay, can I ask you a question? Why isn't Velveteen Dream an absolute superstar already?
I don't know. Maybe it's a backstage thing because he has all the elements of what they need to be a star. He has his dedicated following. He has his character down pat. He's phenomenal in the ring. I mean, he just seems like he lives and breathes in his character 24/7. Maybe it's a locker room thing. Maybe him and Triple H has some words one day and he can't get rid of him. So, he keeps him on there. Or maybe he's just happy on the Black and Gold brand. Like some people, maybe he prefers that lane instead of having to try to compete week by week with some of the more senior superstars for TV time. Maybe, maybe he knows he's got a good thing there.
He's got it all. He goes in the ring. He's got the size. His attire for every pay-per-view is worth the price of admission, in itself. Him and Adam Cole had like Like it felt like it was like a Van Damme movie match where like all the cars were in a circle with the headlights on, like in Lionheart, and then the ring was in the middle, and Adam Cole came in on a monster truck, and Velveteen Dream came in a Lamborghini, and you know the Undisputed Era showed up and jumped Velveteen Dream, and then you know it was just it was a soap opera-y kind of match, but it worked. It was good. It wasn't the greatest match ever, no, but now I guess was Velveteen Dream's like third time, and now he can't challenge for the belt anymore. So it's like, okay, and you know, I mean, not to pander, but is right now not the greatest time ever to put the belt on Velveteen Dream?
Hell yeah!
I mean, seems like a no-brainer.
We're living in a world where they finally put the belt on Apollo Crews. So
yes.
there is an opportunity. Well, when you look at that guy, before we talk about what a potential move for Velveteen Dream to the main roster could look like, but when you look at those veteran guys down on the NXT brand, Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Velveteen, like those guys who've been holding it down for so long, what do you think prevented any of them from moving up? I would imagine moving to the other brand, to the SmackDown or the Raw brand, would be more financially enriching. Maybe it's compromising their character since they're on, well, the NXT is on the same network, USA, like Raw, so it would be, the nexus would be the same, but I could see where someone wouldn't want to move to SmackDown per se because it would curtail them greatly, but I don't know. Why do you think those kind of hung there?
I honestly think they're afraid of some of their size, which leads me back to Velveteen Dream, who's like 6'4" and 260 or whatever. You know, it's like he's got all of those things that they seems like they look for. But Johnny Gargano's time. I mean, look what they're doing with Chad Gable. Chad Gable is a beast in the ring, and he's a joke. He what's his name? Like, like Shorty G. Like, you're literally bringing to the attention that the dude is short. I don't like.
I could have handled. I did better when they were still American Alpha, and you know, they had the thing, and Kurt Angle's son and Jason Jordan and all that. But Shorty G, he's like a comedy match, and that dude is a tank. He can legit.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe they fear that. Maybe some of those guys, like a Shorty G, have told them like, "Yo, don't be me." Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I guess, but if there's any time to debut these cats, is it now with no crowd? Because if a dude comes out and the crowd gives him zero reaction, that's like the death walk, right? That's like, you know what I mean? So like maybe they're afraid that Johnny Gargano was so over as a babyface in NXT, they're afraid that if they bring him to the main roster, nobody knows who he is, kind of kills his steam a little bit. I don't know. But
I feel you what you're saying though. I think I agree with you though about the size thing. I think the size is a big thing because look at some of the bigger guys who are on the main roster who just can't really wrestle. They're just big for no reason. And I mean, there's a very specific style of person that Vince likes on the main roster. And all those guys were too talented to not be seen on 205 if they went that route. And they're kind of small to be foils for the bigger guys on the main roster. But I agree also with you that this might be the good time to bring them and try them out where they're doing it in a performance center and they can build them up on TV while they can't get booed. So when they finally can perform in the crowd, there's some type of relationship. Hell, they could like give everybody a chance. You know, let me give you a run for a week. Let me give you let's play and see what's going to stick.
What's the worst that could happen? The show's already awful. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, just inject it with some different shit. Who knows? I mean, they're gonna bury this whole time in wrestling history the minute they can do arenas again. Everything you see on television right now is gonna be flashes and highlight packages. That's it. Nobody's going back and watch maybe the Boneyard match. You know, maybe this Orton Edge match tonight. Maybe. Other than that, I mean, can you name a pandemic match that you were like, was the shit? Probably not. You know,
honest, the better matches have been the TV matches.
I agree.
They did the AJ Styles, Daniel Bryant match this week. That was a pretty good match. and the pay-per-view is sucking. I mean, they could just try any sort of thing, you know, because we don't have like Roman Reigns, and there's just so many people who are out right now. Hell, let Velveteen Dream just pop up one night and just see what happens. Just see
something crazy.
You know, it's very in vogue to be melanated right now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you.
Might be. Yeah.
Yes, I totally. And you know what? Okay, I was gonna save this question for later, but since this organically is coming into it, okay. So, wrestling has a notorious history for taking touchy subjects in real life and making them into wrestling storylines. Okay. Now, you know, we were fighting the Russians in the 80s, the Bolsheviks and Ivan Koloff, right? You got, you know, when we went to war with Iraq, they turned Sergeant Slaughter, America's #1 G.I. Joe guy, and all of a sudden he was literally on TV, Saddam Hussein sympathizer, which was one of the most underrated heel runs of all time, in my opinion. But so then after 9/11, you had Muhammad Hassan and the other cat, one of which wasn't even, you know, an Arab dude, but they made him an Arab dude.
Yeah, you're brown. That's good.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Right now, Jay, is right now the time to resurrect the Nation of Domination.
All of them. All of them.
Right?
They should.
Right?
They could reboot the Nation of Domination,
right?
And give them like a whole Black Panther party.
Yes.
Marching.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
If they've got Big E and Kofi throwing up the fist on Fox, why not?
I want the old music. I want the whole standing on the ramp. I want one token white guy, like Owen Hart was in it, right? You get one, right?
You know what? You know who would be good in that? If they threw like Sami Zayn, because Sami
Zayn.
So
in the Che Guevara outfit. I want Clarence Mason to be their lawyer. I want the whole shebang.
You know what? That's not a bad idea. Nate, we might have to start like here's what you need to do. You know, since they've been keeping us very represented on the brand, that's a good ass idea, to be honest.
And think about it, because you know what made me think about it today was watching MVP. MVP could have 1,000,000% be the mouthpiece out there. You know what I mean? Like
MVP's killing.
He's doing really good with Bobby Lashley right now.
Yes,
and,
he is.
You know, you could put together a sweet 6 or 7 person, you know, Nation of Domination reboot, and I think, you know, listen. The media would shit on it a little bit because they think that the WWE is trying to fucking, you know, spike ratings by doing like, you know. But wrestling has always done that. So let's just do it. Just do it again.
Oh my God! You know, I mean, hell, if they gave No Way Jose 30 extras to run with him out to the ring every night, I mean, and all the people who would chase after when they would do the 24/7 belt, I mean, why not? Or hell, they've got all the performance center people in there. Give them all some black coats and berets and have them all stand.
I'm telling you, it would pop. It would. I think they're too family oriented right now to do it. But damn it, could you believe if the New Day came out and went, you know what? We're done. We're done with the pancakes and the unicorns. This is our time right now. We put the leather, you know, goofy hats on. Oh, I'm telling you, it would be brilliant. It would be brilliant.
You know, it would be a complete mind fuck, or maybe this is just my little wrestling wet dream. Since Stone Cold has been very vocal lately,
yes.
Stone Cold up in it too.
Yeah, he's the white guy. I'm telling you.
Twitter would break Twitter if Stone Cold came out like a Black Panther.
And
that's just my wrestling fantasy.
And how everybody wants, you know, people are getting kind of tired of the New Day, but they're never going to go anywhere because they sell too much merch. And everyone's like, who's going to turn on who? What if the entire faction turned heel? They didn't even turn on each other. They just went from good guy New Day to Nation of Domination New Day. And they were like, you thought that, you know, it was going to be Big E was going to turn heel on me and Kofi. Well, you know what? We're turning heel on the whole company. Like, that shit would be lit.
Nate, you are on fire today. The more I think about that, that is phenomenal. Do you know how much merch they would sell?
Right now, I'm telling you,
That would be great.
they would still be the merch kings.
They would, man. Look at how good Bailey has been since they finally put the little down sock people away and made her heel, and she's starting to grow in it. Kofi and Big E and Xavier, when he comes back eventually, they already have that chemistry and everything. So it's not building a new group. It's just, oh man,
That's what I'm saying.
All things they've always wanted to say to be part of the story.
Dude, and you could legit like I see it. You could legit reboot what the Nation did when Farouk first came out. It was like 2 of them, and then there'd be a black dude in the ring, and like D-Lo would be in the ring, and then or Kama, Godfather, whatever you want to call him. And then Farouk and them just walk down to the ring and go, yo, stop! Why are you wrestling right now for them? For these people? You need to stop, right? You stop this right now. You need to get, and then that's how they get dudes to join the, like, you know what I mean? Like, that shit would be dope.
They could bring my little homegirl Alicia Fox back.
You could do so much with it. You could do so much if they would just do it. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't know.
Nate, you on fire tail. I don't know. What do you guys think in the comments? Personally, because I'm not biased at all. I think Nate, I think you're on fire. But it's brilliant because, like you said, historically, WWE has done that with any hot topic that is happening. And they're already shifting into that mindset. If they're okay with 2 of the biggest stars in the company taking a knee and throwing up the fist on network TV, and they didn't they didn't bleep it, they tweeted it from the main WWE account.
Exactly.
Oh,
so why stop there?
All right, WWE executive, you payable to Nathan. Spell his name correctly. Hell, use his music during they should use your during the show. How they have like the bands that you're like tonight's song.
Oh yeah. Tonight's pay-per-view is sponsored by.
A campaign to do that, but I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And
so that's what I wanted to ask you earlier. So.
I love that. I love that. That's also a good segue. Since we're talking about the melanated population of WWE, back to tonight's we'll switch over to tonight's pay-per-view.
Yeah, sure.
Dip on anything else from NXT. I know we Lil Shy retained the belt. Anything else we want to touch on before we turn the corner and talk about?
Yeah, there was the big title change at the end where Charlotte got pinned. So that was cool, But no, I just NXT, watch it. It's good stuff.
It's the best brand. brand. If some of you in the comments, have a real theory of why NXT is such a better brand than the main roster, share with us, because we've discussed this many times. I think some kind of way we talk about it on every show, because NXT is always doing something superior to the other brands. So Nate and I are at a loss. We haven't figured it out. We don't know if Triple H, if they, put ketamine in Vince's water before the show every week, and Triple H runs the whole thing, and he's just incoherent, doesn't know what's going on from week to week. But if you guys have a theory, we are very interested in knowing. And tell us, who are your favorite NXT superstars, and tag them on Twitter too. And maybe we can get them on a future show. So we can segue into tonight's Backlash. This show was so ridiculous. I kept trying to call it Fast. Why is nobody tweeting Fastlane? I kept wanting to call. I couldn't even keep the name straight. That's how not disrespectful, but I didn't care for it very much. I want to talk about Nia Jax. Because we talked a couple weeks ago about her injury-prone maneuvering in the ring tonight.
That's a good way to put it.
I'm thinking we're hoping that Asuka didn't get injured tonight, but it didn't look like a lot of crazy stuff was going on to injure Asuka. But the way the match ended with a count out and not a winner, please, Nate, please tell me, please reassure me that we're not about to get a long, drawn-out feud with Nia Jax and Asuka, because I'm not with it.
It almost went from Nia looking dangerous to Nia looking now like sloppy. You know what I mean? Like there was just like 3 or 4 spots outside the ring that it looked like she was either trying to be too light so that she wasn't like lifting her up properly, or not So it's like I need you to find the middle ground between really hurting somebody and not touching somebody at all. You know what I mean? Because she could be so good, and I don't know. I think she's in her own head. I think she's in her own head a little bit.
You know, I remember reading that a rumor that they wanted to send her back to the Performance Center, which everyone's at because they can't go anywhere else.
Exactly.
But, and have her spend some more time down there training and practicing some techniques. You know, maybe it's residuals from her long-term injury. She had the double knee surgery and she was out for a long time. But who's that who works with all the talent? Is it TJ, Natalia's husband, who does a lot of the work with the performers? And
TJ.
I don't know, maybe, I mean, I appreciate Nia and what she brings to the ring and how they want a monster and like a larger sized woman to be like the monster of the division. But historically, our male monsters don't have that reputation for injuring people as much. I don't remember hearing just blatant stories of Mark Henry or the Undertaker just jacking people up.
Sure.
You know, maybe, you know, the size thing is not as big a difference because, you know, Undertaker's huge, but the other guys are big too. And all of our current roster ladies are just so small. So small.
Oh, yeah. So they have to use her because she's the only one that looks different than anybody else.
Yeah.
And Master Shake Pumps had a good comment in the thing. Goes, send her to Dr. Tom Pritchard. He trained a lot of people, and him and Kane have their own wrestling school, I believe. But yeah, no, he trained The Rock. He trained The Rock, and obviously something that they're doing isn't. It's either not settling in with her, or she just is in her own head about it and can't.
I think now it's her in her own head. It's like you can almost see the pause, like.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. Maybe WWE needs to just get out there and hit the pavement and find them a spoil for her that's bigger, like another larger wrestler, like the girl who's over on AEW, who Brandy Rhodes is her mouthpiece for when she wrestles. I can't think of her name right now.
Not the one that's the transgender, right?
No.
Okay. Or not Awesome. Where's Awesome Kong at?
You know, maybe prone, but shout out to all the girls out there who are wrestling, who look outside of the norm. Wrestling needs you.
Absolutely.
That diversity of not just styles and races, but just body types. That's what makes.
Absolutely.
Imagine if like Andre the Giant was like all cock diesel jack.
Right.
It just wouldn't work. Or even the Undertaker. I mean, he's a muscular guy, but let's not act like he's wonderful Paul Orndorff or something, you know?
Oh, also, since we're talking about the pay-per-view and we're just getting started, Samoa Joe was great on commentary tonight.
Samoa Joe was so damn good tonight that my teenager usually doesn't really comment on the comments unless they say something funny. And she goes, Samoa Joe is really good. I'm like, even the babies know. Like, he's feeling it.
I feel like randomly we find a way to compliment Samoa Joe on every episode.
You know, I'm just gonna. You know, I've had success at this before. I'm just gonna start stalking him on Twitter, and I'm just start telling him every day how good he is and why he should follow me, and he should follow me, and why he should follow me. And then next thing you know, today is Samoa Joe.
Yeah, exactly. Bump, 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 bump. He's got the top 3 theme music in the whole roster.
You know what was really good too was Kevin Owens on the deck. So if you could, man, it would be cool if we could have. What would be funny if they did something where he and Kevin Owens did their own match and they called their match while they were doing their match.
If there's any guys that can do it, it's them.
They could do it. But look, so let's talk about the highs, the lows, the long ass match between Edge and Randy Orton. It went on for a long, long time. But let's talk about first the Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders. It was It was so. I mean, I'm all for some crazy shit. Like we talked about the arena match that was on the other pay-per-view, and it was wild, and it was over the top and crazy, and that was cool. But I just didn't understand dream sequences of their basketball matches, turkey legs in the bowling alley, falling in the trash can. some octopus legs at the end. Like I don't even understand. And then Tozawa coming out and he's a ninja, and
it was a buddy cop. It turned into a 4-person buddy cop 80s action movie with a quickness. Like, and it made me embarrassed for them. It's like we talk about that too, that secondhand embarrassment. When he pulled up that bowling ball and then they like deadpan look at him and he goes, I'm just like, what are we doing, guys? What's actually happening right now? Like, who in creative was like, and then you're gonna lift a bowling ball, and then you're gonna give this cheesy look, and then it's like they had shields and axes, and the other guys had golf clubs.
It made no sense. You got the SPs who were like talented.
Who I love them. They're great. I like the Street Profits.
They're like a comedic team,
Yeah.
like the day.
Sure.
And you got the Viking Raiders, who I guess they're trying to do a thing like when they had their run with Sheamus and Cesaro, but they've got more personality than Sheamus and Cesaro.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, why are you booking them with the Street Profits in dream sequences?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
The Viking Raiders are in bowling shirts with face paint.
And
The
then the whole
Turkey
thing with the flashback with the girls, you're cute, but you're not so much. What in the hell does that have to do with anything? I could see if it was like an Otis thing, how Otis doesn't watch your toes, you know, like
Right,
I could understand if it was something that was part of their act, but all these chicks coming out of there where you're cute and you're not so much. I don't understand. Well, I mean, that's not even weed. Are they doing ecstasy or shrooms?
And here's the thing,
Juices?
Otis is enough. I don't need tag team Otises now. You know what I mean? Like, then that's what they're doing. They're just like, oh, this guy got over by being, goofy.
Right.
Let's see if we can get and the music they choose. It sounds like they just went on YouTube and went like,
This works.
yeah, dramatic fight scene free, like free, whatever it's called, free for use dramatic fight scene. You know what I mean?
Go back and I'm gonna check their YouTube thing and see if they remember to cite the people that wrote the YouTube.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. It's like
I don't think they know what to do with the Street Profits. And the Street Profits are so good that they can carry whatever they throw.
Right.
I just hate that after a while they would get tired of the shenanigans and
Right.
bounce out like Dean Ambrose,
Oh,
Moxley.
Wait a minute, Jay. You mean they got tired of shenanigans and then joined the Nation of Domination with the New Day? Is that what you mean? Is that what you mean?
See?
I've already written weeks of television.
Look at that. They doing one more semi-cinematic match.
And they're just like, we can't do this anymore.
I ain't eat no more damn turkey legs. I don't want a red cup. I want a chalice. And
No, their red cups are now black solo cups.
Oh,
That's right. I
feel where
New merch.
Yeah, the whole damn company could flip it like that. Naomi could flip it and be like, I don't have no more damn glow. It's no glow.
Exactly.
Went back.
No more glow.
No mo. You see your boy here?
Yeah, that's right. We're working.
What we doing over here? At the end, we're going to shout out Nate and stuff, but y'all need to bless Nate just for this good content for WWE. And the scary part about it is it's completely feasible. Leaps and bounds better than anything that I've seen.
Yeah, and it works if they do it seriously. Like, I'm laughing while I say it because I think it would be fantastic television. But if they did it like dead serious and just started like beating dudes up in the parking lot and shit, like late 80s NWA, like when Dusty Rhodes got his arm broken in the parking lot, like that kind of stuff, shit would be fucking fire.
And then and then the WWE, if you do manage to do something creative like that, here's your out, because WWE creative is always their own worst enemy.
Sure.
You put our man, R-Truth in it.
Right.
He don't flip.
Right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And he just be the dingbat that he always is, and then that way you can have you a little comic relief in there.
Right.
But look, WWE, there's your out. You put R-Truth in it, and he goes, "Why are we marching for the 27 7-Eleven Black Power belt?" You know,
exactly. He can lighten the mood. If it's too dark, he can lighten the mood
all the way up.
Yeah, I like it. All right, what's the next match you got, Jay?
Oh my God, the next match. Let's talk about Randy and Edge.
Okay.
Because that was a lot of the show.
That was a lot of the show.
Okay, let me just ask you, just off the top, was it the greatest wrestling match ever, Nate?
Absolutely not. I didn't even need to think about that one. Absolutely not.
Pause.
And how could it have been, Jay? How could it have been?
Let's start with the cons. What were the cons for you?
The cons was there was no arena or no fans. That's always nice. But I did like the light piping in of the crowd. I did like that. They didn't go overboard with it. It wasn't too loud. It wasn't too obnoxious. But there was enough white noise in the background of crowds clapping and doing like a holy shit chant or whatever that I thought was really cool. It looked like Orton got popped the hard way over the eye off of a headbutt or whatever. So that was cool. They had a little blood. I think it was a little much that they kept doing like 8 different superstars finishers, and I feel like that was somebody creative going, well, let's do a match where each one of you does 4 different Hall of Famers finishers, and that's what everybody will remember, and that's how we can make it the greatest match of all time, because you kicked out of an Olympic slam and a rock bottom and 3 spears, and you know what I mean? So, you know, those were the cons, but the pros to me were, listen, that's a 46-year-old guy with multiple neck surgeries. Edge worked his ass off, man. Listen, you know, I know Pumps is going to hate this is his guy, but Jericho's ain't no better to me than Edge is right now. It's just that Jericho is better overall package in terms of what he's doing creatively on the mic and on commentary and all that kind of stuff. What'd you say?
I said Le Champion.
Yeah, Le Champion. And Jericho can still work a quasi, full-time schedule. But I thought that those dudes looked great. I thought Orton looked better than he has in the last 10 years. Because he seems to be mailing it in. But I feel like, it just you can't call something the greatest wrestling match of all time before it happens. It just doesn't make any sense to me. What'd you think?
Well, here's the thing with me, the finishing. That was a con for me also, because it took what was a really good, entertaining match, and it was just overkill. And because they did so many pins, it just wore me out. Like, fuck, just pin him already. Somebody. The pros for, again, they did a lot of good stuff out there, to the point where I was looking at Edge like, should he be doing all that? Because
I agree.
He could get hurt very badly. And then I was looking at Randy. Randy Orton I'll tell y'all a little secret just between, us here on the show. I really love me some Randy Orton. Randy Orton looking hot. He always looks jacked and in shape. And, we come to expect that. But he looked like he was putting in a little overtime in advance of his greatest match of all time.
Yeah, right. How about your boy Randy telling Edge, I'm going to fucking kill you? And then catching it on camera. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I had to rewind it. I was like, did they just did they just allow him to tell another guy I'd fucking kill you?
If you're throwing people off of the building during a fake match, what's a little death threat between friends?
Yeah, fair enough. And I thought at the end it was good that Orton won, because Edge isn't going to be around, and Orton still is. He just resigned or whatever. But I loved the heel at the end when he got in real close to him and he was like, just go home. Just go home, Adam.
Go home to bed. Say hi to your kids. Go be with your kids and tell them Uncle Randy said hello. That was so good.
I love it.
Yeah, it was really good. That was really good.
Yeah, I like Randy Orton, and it was a good match. It was not the greatest match. You know, I'm glad they were trying to bill it that way. I get what you can't bill anything that way when there's no crowd.
They didn't even. No, of course not. And also my other thing too, when they were just like, we're gonna have revolutionary new camera angles. They had one camera angle that was different when they locked up and they shot it from underneath. I was just like, well, other than that, what'd you do? Put a camera on the ref? Like, you know, WCW did that a long time ago. It was called the Reefer Eye Cam.
You better start selling these ideas, sir. You know, they're gonna start doing matches where the ref has a damn GoPro.
But yeah, you know, other than that, the pay-per-view was pretty. I just can the Miz and Johnny Morrison just stop already? That was.
I don't like that pairing. I just don't like it. I know that
Morrison is
popular. I can't stand it. I love the Miz, heel Miz, semi-heel Miz. As long as the Miz is not a full-on face, I'm gonna love the Miz.
I agree.
However he is, but Morrison, I mean, come on, do better. But I didn't like their music video.
He can't cut a promo. Morrison can't. Every time he talks, it sounds like he's being forced to say. He sounds like the kid in class that can't read very well, and then the teacher call on him.
Okay, let's read chapter 7.
Yeah.
Did you read chapter 7? The Street Profits and the...
Yeah, exactly. Miz was like, all right, Johnny, we're going to give them a little more of what they want, right? And he's like, yes, we are, Miz. He's like, I don't know.
Maybe he's drugged out. You know, that's not far-fetched for wrestlers.
Speaking of, I've missed a couple weekly shows, and God, they can't leave people with drug and alcohol issues alone, can they? They're making Jeff Hardy, they're calling him a junkie, they're like bringing up him as a DUI angle. It's
Thank you. Okay, yeah, I wanted to talk about that. That is so gross. And
it is.
And real mug shots.
Yes, I know. It's so fucked up. It's like, didn't you learn from when WCW did that to Scott Hall, and it was like awful watching him every week go to the ring, even if he was pretending or not pretending? You know that hurts a guy. Like, it just sucks that these dudes are in a position where they can't really say no, and it's just like, you want to be on TV? Dope. We're gonna do an angle where you get a DUI.
Jacked up is they're a family brand. So
yeah.
Jeff Hardy can't even go to his damn Whole Foods. There's gonna be like some 6-year-old kid who's like, my dad says you're a junkie, and kicks him.
Now listen,
that man.
If this was the Attitude Era and I was 18, I'd have loved it. And I did also like. See, now I'm kind of being a hypocrite, but I also liked when Jericho and CM Punk did the angle where Jericho was like pouring Jack Daniels on CM Punk and stuff because he's straight edge. I like that stuff. I thought that was good heel work. But
it was appropriate. You're not a hypocrite. It was appropriate for that era, because that was the direction of it. But
also, that's right. He threw pee. He got to throw pee in Sheamus's face. What the fuck were we doing?
It was so, and I knew when he was saying the line, I knew he was going to say, it's better to be pissed off than pissed off. I knew he was going to say it, but I thought maybe he would like kick him in the junk and like they would have like a little pee stain like they did Drew, the little shorty who just won.
Yeah.
Say Drew Gulak, but not Drew Gulak. The little shorty who was the GM of 205.
Yeah, he just got canned. But yes, I know exactly what you mean. Also, anybody that's taken a drug test knows you don't take it in a 500 milliliter open top glass beaker.
That's what my baby said. Why is there so much pee? I'm like, well, maybe they're saving it for like.
Yeah. And then he just did it in the middle of the ring in front of millions of people. Just no problem, just do it. I need you to pee a 2-liter bottle of urine at the moment right now, Jeff.
Yeah, I've been drinking lots of alkaline water, and here's the result. and made sure that Sheamus's mouth was open. It was just so ridiculous and so low hanging fruit. He was already like this.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. There just wasn't anything really. Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley was whatever. Listen, any kid that's been bullied knows that you get him a full Nelson by just going straight and falling limp.
And you just fall out. And then one more thing that was just so stupid and all over the place. Why do they keep jacking up Braun Strowman's car?
Yeah, right? Well, because they want him to be Steve Austin. Like, he has to have a different vehicle. And I don't like Strowman as a champ. Sorry. He's not my guy. He doesn't do anything for me. Like,
get these hands, can you hear?
Yeah, he's a heater, like he's big, but like, okay. Like, he doesn't do anything in the ring. He throws a clothesline and yells and does the British Bulldog's finisher, and then that's a wrap. I don't know. He's not for me. At least McIntyre's jumping around and like doing wrestling stuff.
I love Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre down. Like, he can, that big dude can move. But with Big Braun, probably all those years of doing Iron Man, he probably has horrible knees. He probably has center of balance is probably garbage. And he's just too freaking big to come off the top rope. So, what do they do with him? Of all people to put the belt on, but Vince like giant dudes.
But I think they're doing it. I think they're doing it because they're just gonna erase all the shit that's just going on right now. So they can appease him like, hey bro, we made you the champ. And then when things get back going and the champ actually has to travel city to city and do all this, they're gonna take the belt off him immediately.
Immediately. Well, you know what? That gives me a great idea of something we can do now. We'll call it a little mini segment. Let's predict what we think will happen when we have a normal wrestling environment with crowds and cities and arenas. Let's pick 3 storylines and let's just see how psychic we are. We're going to put one down immediately because it's an easy one to call and we'll both probably say it. We already know that Bayley and Sasha are going to have a big thing.
Blow off, yeah.
So we that one doesn't count.
Okay,
right. Include that one because that one's just too predictable.
Yeah.
If you could pick something that looks like it's been on the hopper or in the hopper as we await for wrestling to return to some normalcy, what is your prediction of a storyline that's there, but been able to pull a trigger?
I think that they're going to take the Money in the Bank off of Otis. Mm-hmm. In some way. He'll have to put it up in a match against somebody of importance and then lose it. And then he won't really lose anything because the fans will then feel sorry for him. He'll be like the lovable loser that didn't get his chance, like almost got his chance, like Eugene. You know what I mean? Otis is basically Eugene to me. I'm sorry. Let's see what else. I'm trying to think of the different storylines on each brand right now.
I think that when they bring Roman Reigns back,
okay,
some kind of way it'll lead to a Roman Drew McIntyre meetup at like WrestleMania. Like, I think they'll try to do the cross brand things because Drew is on Raw and Roman will eventually come back to SmackDown.
Uh-huh.
I can't think of any real viable line for Roman Reigns, and we know Roman Reigns is going to come back eventually.
Also, what we have to do is if WrestleMania happens with people in it, it's going to be in LA next year. Correct? Right?
Yes, sir.
So you know that before the show, we have to each walk around separately and interview people outside the arena and try to get some funny comments and stuff for, like those old man on the street, things for like the Johnny Carson show or whatever.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, and then we'll edit them down and make a little montage. I think that would be funny.
Okay, so we've got dropping the Money in the Bank and losing.
Yes.
We've got Roman coming back some kind of way. Who do you? What about the women's tag team championships? Because when Bayley and Sasha eventually have their thing, obviously they're going to have to drop the belts. They're going to drop them before that. Who do we see Bayley and Sasha dropping the belts to?
The Iconics. I'm always going to be I'm pro for my Aussie ladies.
I love them.
Yes. I was hoping they were going to win tonight.
Me too. You know what I've noticed about them is their bodies are changing. I was looking at Peyton.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
She looks a lot stronger. Like in the way she's executing and the way she's doing. She did I think she did like a German suplex, or she was doing a lot more strength type movement. She just looks stronger. And so she's doing better movement. And Billie Kay looks leaner. It's not like she was fat.
Right.
She looks leaner, and just their overall look to me is starting to change. And I'm not that I had a problem with them before. I think they're amazing. I'm glad, because maybe it's changing because they're really about to put them out there, which they deserve because they're hilarious. But I don't want them to be so comedic all the time that they're taken seriously. And I feel like because Billie Kay is just so naturally funny,
yeah,
they're trying to move them into that lane. But they potentially could be some really, really good.
I also think that when the crowds come back, I think we're going to see the Undisputed Era come up as a full team and do some run-ins and, maybe feud with the New Day or somebody that's got, some multiple members or whatever. But I think they're waiting. I think they want that running through the crowd. Oh my God, they're here. That's the Undisputed Era. But Adam Cole's already wrestled on TV, so they kind of already ruined that. So I don't know. I don't see Adam. I think they got to move Adam Cole up soon, because somebody told me at some point that his contract is up soon, and his I think his chick wrestles in AEW.
Oh yeah, she does.
Yeah, so
his lady's in the thing with Cedric Alexander's lady.
Yes. So I think Adam Cole, if not appeased in some way, is going to end up in AEW, which would really screw Fish and O'Reilly and Roddy Strong. Because as much as I love those guys, none of them is the mouthpiece that Adam Cole is. And as Adam Cole goes, the Undisputed Era goes, for sure.
For sure. Well, shit. That's all I got on.
I think we put a bow on it.
I know, the pay-per-view, WWE, I feel like we say this every week to do better.
Just please.
Maybe their creative is all over the place because Paul Heyman got the boot out of the creative seat, and maybe they're just trying to find their footing. They need to hire you.
Yeah, well, I have a good idea every now and then, but I'll be on the payroll for them to be ready when I do have them.
I think that you probably got about a good 5 ideas in your head right now that would be suitable for a storyline. I can guarantee it. Because at this point, look what the hell, we got the Street Profits eating turkey legs in a bowling alley with some Vikings.
And then laying in a dumpster and everybody wah, 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 wah.
So, I mean, I'm sure you could do some better things. And one more thing, I have to rant about her all the time. Stop bringing Lana out. For God's sake. I can't. What the hell? Why is Lana even still there? How do you keep Lana and lay off Rusev?
Well, I think that's going to go back to when we talked about what Vince likes. Vince likes hot chicks around. And I think that they got a lot of shit for the angle where they made, Rusev watch his wife make out with another man every week. And so they kind of were like, well, we're 86 in Rusev because he's got the bigger contract. We have to at least keep this angle going around for a little bit, because then it looks like we were just being assholes to Rusev.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? If you kept Lana and 86 Rusev and then immediately just separated her from Bobby Lashley, you'd be like, well, what the fuck were you doing? Why did you do that to those bad couple then? Well, I don't understand. Like, what's the point?
True.
So I think they just kind of have to go with it. But now MVP's breaking it up, or there's that whole dynamic. So
MVP, I salute you
Yes, I love MVP. He's
for
great.
taking that over. And you look like Kenya Barris. Every time he comes out, I call him MP Barris. For those of you who know who Kenya Barris is, who's on the Netflix show
Black as fuck, right? It's hysterical.
He looks like the thicker Kenya. Like if Kenya had a brother who wrestled, it'd be MVP.
That show is hysterical, by the way. It's so good.
And this is not a sponsored thing.
No,
so.
it's not. But I should highly suggest watching it. It's really, really well done and well written and informative and funny and it's got a good heart. It's a really good show.
Here, I'll tell you a little secret about Kenya Barris. Kenya Barris's real life wife, Rainbow, was in my class in high school.
Really?
And went to our brother's school. I went to Immaculate Heart High School, go Pandas, in Hollywood. And Kenya Barris went to Daniel Murphy High School, which is now closed. And Rainbow was in my class, and they were dating then. So
really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They were like high school sweethearts. So every time I see Blackish, I'm just like, hey, it's Rainier.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, so, little secret history.
Little fun fact.
Little fun facts about Jae.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it too. But yeah, that's all I got, Nate. Do you have any closing thoughts for the good people about the weekend rep?
Let's stick with it. Not everybody is happy with what's happening. I think AEW is putting on a really good weekly product, better than the WWE for some reason. They've been able to figure out how to do the no crowd thing a little better. I think they also take a little bit more risks. The Revival showed up this week, so I was stoked about that. And I listened to their interview on Jim Cornette, and they mentioned that they aren't even on a long-term deal with AEW. Tony Khan just wanted to be the first promoter to get the Young Bucks and the Revival match. So they're kind of on according to them, they're on a handshake deal. They're just in AEW for a little bit to do this match and maybe sign long-term, but there's some guys they want to wrestle in New Japan and stuff like that. So I don't know how long those guys are going to be around. So while they're there, watch them. NXT is always great. Push the Velveteen Dream, turn the New Day heel into the new nation of the New Day Nation of Domination, the nation of Day and Nation. I don't know, something.
I like new Day Nation of Domination.
Yeah, something like that. Let's spice up the be safe out there, everybody.
Indie.
Yeah, there you go. See,
Domination, Indie. There it is. And so, final thoughts for me on the weekend wrestling. Hang in there. It's a little tough right now, wrestling, fellow pro wrestling fans. Hang in there. We're going to hang in there and see what we get. Please push Bianca Belair. You brought her up there. Please book her and get her out. Give her an opportunity because she go there now. So give her an opportunity to do what she needs to do. Figure out something for Shayna Baszler because she's royally getting screwed and she's really talented and she should be a much bigger presence in Raw, especially now that Ronda Rousey's gone. We're assuming Ronda Rousey might come back at some point or at least have her pop up in a cameo. So give Shayna Baszler a little push and no more stupid ass Street Profits, Viking Raiders playing croquet at the country club and racing horses. Like
too much comedy.
Yeah, like either make them wrestle or don't. And if you're gonna make them wrestle, give us a heel and give us a face. We don't want them high-fiving and playing grab ass and then they're fighting ninjas. And I personally cracked up when he was like, I beat them ninjas. I'm like, you should beat them ninjas.
It was like a fever dream.
Oh my God. Yeah, no more of that. I'd rather them spend the money.
More boneyard, less that.
Exactly. More boneyard matches and less of that. Nate, for the folks tuning in, where can they find you and follow you and get all your great music?
You can find me at Nathan Has Skill on Instagram, Facebook. I have a regular Facebook page and a fan page and a Cobra Law Records page and a YouTube channel.
I got a few new videos up there. My album's on Bandcamp. Nathan has skill.bandcamp.com. Goes to the 20 tracks, $8. No, it's $10. Sorry, inflation. But there's always a money back guarantee with my stuff. If you spend $10 and buy an album of mine and are not satisfied with your 20 songs, that you did not get your $10 worth, I will give you your money back, no question asked, and you can keep the music. So there it is. And
it's a good time to get it because gyms are about to open back up. Pop Nate in your headset and get your workout.
Right, get your sets in.
So
glad to be back.
Thank you. So everybody, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you follow my YouTube channel, Bad Culture TV on YouTube. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm currently at about 7,600. So follow Bad Culture TV on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter, Giandra LaBeouf. Everything Giandra LaBeouf on Instagram. Make sure you follow the Illuminerdi. Visit the Illuminerdi website. Subscribe to this channel where you're watching us now because the numbers ain't adding up. It's like people watching videos, but it says you're not subscribed. So if you're not subscribed right now, make sure you subscribe and visit the Illuminerdi as often as possible because we always break the stories.
Thank you very much.
So with that, we got love for you. We got love for pro wrestling. We'll see you next week, and everybody have a fantastic night. Take care.
Stay safe.
Out. Ain't it funny how all the games played out? Like I don't know what you're doing when you stay out. Trying to lock me down, I had to break out. Cause you lie, repeat, rewind, retweet, then act like those that you see on TV. What a crying shame, with a body on that frame and a half a brain. Damn.